Charli XCX randomly got into a lot of heat for wearing this sash at her Coachella after party, which says Mist should have been a headliner. It's really interesting because a lot of people have gotten mad at her because she wore some random sash at an after party, and this is kind of the crazy aftermath of her wearing the sash and then getting posted on PopCrave. This was the most viral tweet, which says Green Day making a political statement about shit that actually matters is better than pop girlies singing about coke. And I feel like this is someone who clearly missed the point of why Charli wore this. It's probably just because her friends thought she should be the headliner. She was one of the most popular artists over the last 12 months. And yeah, while I don't think she is a bigger artist than Green Day in terms of selling tickets and getting people into seats, I do think it is really weird that this person is all about, Green Day made a political statement when they were up there and Charli XCX sings about coke. Who cares? Like, I just don't understand who cares that she wore this random thing at a random Coachella after party. I don't see any reason how that correlates to political statements. You don't need to make everything about a political statement. And who cares if she sings about coke? Just let her be herself. Like, I just don't understand why people are mad over her wearing a just funny joke sash at a random after party and then getting a photo of her taken and getting it posted everywhere. Who cares about that? It's not like she was really trying to ego these people. It's not like she was out here like, I want to show Green Day that I'm better than them. She just put it on as a funny joke. Like, I just don't understand why people are taking this so seriously when I don't think Charli herself cares about this. Like, I really don't think she was out here like, oh yeah, I want to show Green Day that I should have been the headliner and I need to wear a sash and post it everywhere to show people that I should have been the headliner. No, she just put it on as a funny joke, or one of her friends got it for her. Who cares? And then someone else saying full shade, she has exactly one successful album. And while that might be true on the commercial part, Charli has been a very cult artist and has had this cult fan base that has kind of supported her throughout a while. She also has a ton of kind of extremely popular songs with I Love It and Boom Clap that were very popular even before Charli became popular with Brat again. So I feel like it wouldn't be that weird to see Charli as a headliner. I don't think she should have been like the lead headliner, but I wouldn't really be like that mad if Charli was like the third headliner at Coachella. And I feel like she is big enough, especially at this point, to be one of the headliners. So I don't know why this person's saying that, because a lot of people have had one successful album, and that one successful album can carry them for their whole career, where Green Day only has, 2 or 3 successful albums, but they're still a big headliner, and they also did that 20 years ago. So I don't know. It is pretty interesting to me to say, she only has one successful album, because one successful album can really carry someone's career. Then someone else said, people with common sense and any ounce of empathy know this is a rude and bitchy thing to do. And yes, while it might be a rude and bitchy thing to do, these people are artists. These people are rich, famous, successful. You don't need to defend Green Day or get mad at Charli because she did something that's rude or bitchy. It's all about getting the most clicks, the most likes, whatever. And that's all that kind of matters for these things, where it's not about doing something that's rude or bitchy. All these artists have their own egos. They all have huge egos. Who cares if they do something that shows that they have a big ego? It really doesn't matter. And I don't understand why everyone's attacking her for doing something that shows that she has a big ego or is kind of bitchy. Who cares? That's exactly what she was trying to show on her album Brat. People can be that, and people can be mean. They can be bitchy. Like, just allow them to be themselves. And then someone else posted this photo of Bush-era liberalism still reverberating for generations while the Kamala-era Brat summer flopped and keeps demanding to be the center of attention. Wait. This, to me, is even weirder, because who cares about if the Brat summer flopped because of Kamala or because of all these other things? And I just think it's so weird to be attacking Charli XCX for something that's completely out of her control and something that she's just trying to keep rolling, because of course Brat should be kind of dragged as far as possible. If you are the artist, you always want to come back to the time you had the biggest success. And I think it's great that Charli is always coming back to that. I do think it's still weird that she is kind of dragging it so far into the future, where it's almost been a year since this, and she still has like the album covers on Spotify in the Brat era logo, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's weird to be attacking Charli XCX for having something last such a short time, because now culture is happening so quickly. Like, you can't really have these super long eras because everything is happening in quicker and quicker and quicker cycles, where these things that happened a year ago, people are like, oh my God, it feels like it happened so long ago, because that's what's happening. People are ruining our attention spans, and they're trying to make us focus on things that are necessarily happening each day to try and get us confused about the things that actually matter. And I think that's kind of what's happening here. And people getting mad at Charli for having her thing dragged on for 8 months and saying, oh, it hasn't lasted 8 months. That's how the world works now. Bush era liberalism happened in the 2000s when there was a monoculture and there wasn't social media. Yeah, there's no reason that Charli stuff should be lasting this long, but that's just because of how it works now. You can't have stuff last longer than, honestly, like 3 to 4 months. Chappell Roan had such a crazy huge come up last year, and now it just feels like she's a normal star like everyone else, and now people are starting to hate on her. It's the same thing with Charli XCX. People are now starting to turn on her because they don't like her during that time period. It's just so funny how quickly people will turn on each other because it's now the trendy thing to do. And then this person says, Green Day said free Palestine and called out Trump during their set. Meanwhile, all Charli XCX did during her set was be a cokehead and use bad auto-tune. Artists are supposed to stand for something, not be losers. And I think this is probably the most problematic out of all these tweets, because why does an artist always have to stand for something and always have to do something? They're making art. They don't always need to be making political statements in their music and in when they're performing. Like, yes, I do understand Green Day did it and they called out Trump, but Charli XCX is also from England. Why would she call out Trump? She doesn't live in this country. I mean, she might live in this country, but I'm saying, like, she's not a citizen of the United States. It doesn't affect her. It's just so weird to be out here being like, every single person needs to say free Palestine and call out Trump during their performance. Otherwise, they're a terrible person. Who cares? Sometimes people want an escape from politics. Sometimes people don't want to think about these things. I think always forcing it to be like, you always need to make political statements in your music. You always need to make it a political thing. And yes, I do think art can be political. Art is political sometimes, but it doesn't always need to be political, and you don't always need to force a political aspect on it when it can just be about having fun and reflecting the artist's own self. If someone is super political, maybe their music is political, but art always doesn't need to be political. It usually reflects the artist. And if the artist is apolitical or doesn't care about these things as much as someone else, who cares? Yes, there are big things going on, but that doesn't need to be having it shoved down your face at all times. That's why Kamala's campaign didn't work, because all she was doing was saying, oh, this celebrity likes me, this other celebrity likes me. Who cares? No one cares about celebrities endorsing a person. They care about their actual material situation. And yes, well, that is bad in the United States. We don't need to be out here at Coachella being like, there is a material situation that's going on. Things are happening that are bad. Palestine is in a bad situation. Yes, all those things are bad, but you don't need to be calling it out at every fifth time. And I think it's really funny, and this tweet kind of did it the best, where it says what she wore versus what you think she wore, judging by these reactions, where it says fuck Green Day and Billy Joe Armstrong is fat, where it's so funny the smaller things that people get mad at. And I think this is why young men are turning so much to the right, because people are attacking them for every single thing. It's not like we have to attack someone for just having a funny joke out here, but just the fact that social media has turned so many people into angry people that are force-fed and drip-fed exactly what they want to see at all times, or force-fed the exact opposite of what they want to see at all times, is just the exact thing that's turned our society into something that is extremely hateful, and why people just should not be interacting with social media as much, because it turns you into someone that is extremely hateful. And while Charli XCX, you might be like, oh, this is kind of a bad thing. It's really not. Chappell Roan, she said a lot of like problematic things recently. Who cares? It's an artist being an artist. Artists should be problematic. They should be talking in weird ways. They should be doing all these things. They're artists. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And I just think the fact that people are nitpicking over exactly what Charli XCX did or exactly what she didn't do is just the stupidest thing. And to me is why some of these people are just too woke, and why all these people don't like all these super left people, because they will call out people for anything. This is exactly why they say, oh, I'm the friend that's too woke. This is exactly what it is. And I think calling people out for the smallest things like this is extremely stupid, and Charli XCX should not be getting called out for this at all.